Hello, reading comprehension tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Renaissance with me, BlueAnkylo, who I promise knows how to read. Also, maybe you guys too, depending on how much you pay attention. We're back in, Gaia. I'm going to predict there's some angry comments again. Before I get into what happens in Gaia, let's go do that, summoner quest that we knew was here. We just didn't have enough time last episode. I guess maybe a quick recap. We're a few levels higher, because, hey, I have all my stupid, amazing, magic, enchantments. So, generally speaking, grinding these out is a pain in the butt. It's basically slow and tedious, and you just find a big group of enemies that don't run away. Don't wait till your level's too high, or it's even worse. But if possible, find something weak to the element. Although that's easy for fire, ice, lightning. Not too hard for light and arrow. Water's okay. Mud golems worked in the waterfall for that. But bio and stone, I don't think there's anything weak to. So you just need large groups where you cast a spell on yourself, and it only works on yourself. You can't enchant someone else and have them kill it. You have to put a Mystic Knight with a weapon enhancement, and if you kill something weak to it, you get 5 points. If it's resistant, you get 3. If you get neutral, it's 2. So weakness is the best, resistance is second best, but doesn't really help with bio and stone much. There are some enemies that are resistant to bio and stone, so you can try that. I think flying enemies tend to be strong to earth, so you could probably do that. But yeah, basically you just grind it out, and eventually, now we have the upgrade. I think the main difference is you get plus 20% crit. You can inflict bio, which is poison over time. I don't know. I haven't really used any of them yet. I just unlocked them to say I did it. Ice can inflict slow. Bolt can stun. Stone can turn you to stone. Water can silence you. Arrow can confuse you. And light can kill undead. So, hopefully these are a little bit more effective. I'm not super hyped, but I did unlock them all. And I also did basically all the capturing I'm going to bother with for now. You can see it on this screen if you're paying close attention. There's little paw prints on all the enemies that we've captured. I think I've caught all the normal enemies up to our point of the game. We can get a bunch of them in Mirage and Floating Fortress. But the really bad news, all the special enemies, or pretty much all the special enemies that you can only encounter during a summon astral realm, are also capturable. Which means you have to do this. You have to not get your spells until you're promoted, your summon magic. And you have to have a summon, like a summoner, alongside a Beastmaster, and not get summons until you're promoted. To get Broom, all the... There's not too many, but if you want full completion, hooray! Some of them are also going to be really rough, trying to get stuff like Iron Golem. And in my experience so far, I've done a fair bit of testing, they just are super unreliable. They run away very reliably. So, you can pick one up and try to bring it against a boss or something, but it's unlikely you'll get there. I don't think you'll have much chance of actually, finding something with a cool ability and bringing it to someone that's weak to it. The best I can say is you can capture one in a dungeon and try to use it right away before it just runs off, because so far that's all it does. Generally speaking, I consider it a huge waste of time. It's an action to catch, it's an action to summon, and although they can have some pretty good skills and some pretty good high attacks, you're spending a lot of turns and then they tend to just run away. Control is probably better because it reduces the enemy numbers, like it's like killing an enemy, sort of. So that's pretty good. Yeah, not super impressed with Beastmaster just right now. I did give him the Light Axe because that is the only class that really wants it. A fighter can use it, or a knight can use it, that is, but, maybe that's better for melee damage. I think Frozen Axe does more, but, you might want to do anti-undead. Other than that, I don't think I changed anything. I mean, I put the Beastmaster in the top slot because his HP is getting higher, but that's about it. Anyway, let's go do our summoning thing. See what we can get in Gaia. Okay, I see some sparkles. Hey, we haven't caught an air elemental yet. Nice. But yeah, I'm starting to think this is the scrub team. I'm not really very impressed with the party's composition. Maybe these classes individually are still okay. Like, it's not necessarily that they're all unredeemable or irredeemable. But this group together does not seem very effective. I think the Geomancer is probably the strongest of the batch. And the Summoner is, like, good at some things. Not really killing enemies quickly, which is probably the most important thing you could be good at. And the Geomancer is, like, really good sustain for a long dungeon, but very much limited on, you know, what summons you have available, or what geomancy you have available in the area you're in. So with a bit of prep, you can bring in other elements once you're promoted, which is good. So I think geomancy, like, of my group, is the most useful. Summoner is probably second most useful. Maybe the control on the trainer is good enough to be third. And honestly, I think the Mystic Knight is kind of garbage. Sorry, Mystic Knight lovers. This one's not hitting it for me. I have a feeling they're meant to buff an ally and not... Basically, they turn into a support buffer, which seems lame. Hi, follow me! Sorry, my sickness. I think I said last episode, definitely a little bit sick. Drink more water while we're running away from wyverns. This way! Hey, listen! I mean, what do you think we're gonna get in Gaia, right? Of course. Alright, almost through. So we definitely could have gotten these Gaian and Lefanish summons a little bit earlier, but I don't think it would have changed too much. You still need the airship to get here, and all we really would have missed out on is, like, having them for the top of Water Shrine and the Waterfall. And they wouldn't have made too much difference, I don't think. There you are! Come meet my friends! My friends are gonna chew you up. So, fairies, right? I don't know if you can control some. That would be kind of funny. I doubt it. I don't actually... I mean, I don't know how you'd know if they're weak against anything. That's... I guess if... You know... Maybe. I don't remember what these do. Can't be controlled. Oh, I sped it up, sorry. I was grinding, so I wanted my response speed quick. I'll turn it down after this fight. We got one with darkness, but that's not... Or paralyze even, that's not bad. So they're doing a single target attack that heals. That's not nice. Gonna do some healing here. Got a burn off. Got our own regeneration on. That should keep us a little bit more alive. Wind Gust. That hit pretty hard. I mean, I'm hoping we can win. Maybe we should be using some limit breaks and stuff, because we're taking a lot of damage here. Not sure... They're not really doing physical attacks. I can't remember if one of these... If they do wind... I think one of these gives you protection from wind. Maybe Titan? But then you're doing, like... no damage with the summon? Maybe. But it's only for one turn, so it's not even very good. Geostorm's interesting. Well, they just killed us anyway, so much for that plan. Alright, alright. I thought I got rid of all the singing. Gee whiz. Hey, I killed one with Titan. It did do some damage. I feel like I never know what to do with this group. Every time we fight a boss, like, what should you do? I don't know. No one really has a good boss killing strategy, I don't think. We're getting killed by wind, but like, what could I do about wind? Just die? I guess if we lose, I can look up... Again, if... I feel almost guilty doing that. You can look up what they're weak against, but if you're playing it for the first time, you would not know. So their physical attack is weak. The question is, can we kill them before they basically kill us? Okay, good enough then, sure. Oh, poo! Alright, we're getting some fairies. So we win. I feel like that was just random luck, though. There was no strategy. I think that's what I like the least about this group, is you'd think they're all built with, you know, elemental weaknesses in mind. And, okay, technically fairies are weak to ice, but I would never have guessed that. Like, you would have to, if you're playing it blind or just for the first time, you really would have no idea. I've never heard anything that would suspect that fairies in specific are weak to ice. So sure, again, if you had Ice 3, you know, you'd be fine if you're using a Black Mage. We don't really have a lot of ice magic anyway, but maybe that would have made me try to enchant someone with ice. Maybe I could have tried to Runic, but really, they killed Steiner, like, immediately, so I didn't really have any chance for any of that. The status effects on the enchantments should be pretty effective against some types of enemies. Maybe not those. Like, again, I'm worried that they're just going to be immune to all the stuff I want to do anyway. So I can't confuse them, silence them, petrify them, or bind them. I don't know why you'd want to do that. But, like, some of our, like, their attack doesn't matter. Well, they're resistant to petrify. Is there any... I'm just... I almost wish I could do the refight. I could reload, I guess, but... Is there any of these effects that are good? Like, they're weak to ice, but the slow effect does nothing. Stun, I guess, would be good if it hits. Stone, if that works. Silence, they said they resisted. Confusion, they resist. They're not undead. Poison, I doubt, is going to make much difference. Maybe a couple of those would work? I don't know. I didn't get a chance anyway, so we'll never know. Okay, so, you know, remember my talking to people thing? It turns out I kept thinking Lefane would be where the Beast quest was, but I was wrong. It's in Gaia, because that's what they said. But I just read Gaia and thought Lefane for some reason, because I thought, you know, the final area would be good for... The final town would be good for quests. A Beastmaster, I have a special pet food that makes captured monsters stronger. If you can capture a T-Rex from the desert. Everybody take a drink. Okay, that quest sucks. And it doubly sucks because, technically, I already did it. Now, maybe he remembers that I did it without him asking? He does not. Great! Well, you guys get to watch it. I'm not cutting it out again. I don't know, this could take the whole episode. T-Rex is a very rare encounter in the desert here. In theory, having the Beastmaster up front might make it more likely to happen. Rare enemies, in theory. That's what it says. We'll just keep count. That's a 1. I don't want to kill them, because if I get experience, the T-Rex is going to run away. That's a 2. Like, literally, if I kill these enemies, we're going to keep leveling up. 3. And the T-Rex doesn't have great morale. It can run away pretty easily. So we have to do this without getting XP, which is even stupider. 5. 6. I think on average it takes like 100. 7. 8. Has to be a blue dinosaur. Very rare. Some of you may never have even seen them. I don't know, 9 or so. My count's not going to be perfect. No, and then if I do it too fast, this happens. Then I really wish there was just a button, a keybind for reset. Especially when you're dealing with this kind of grinding nonsense. Well, guys, what do you think about the classes? What do you think? I've told you what I think. My opinion on these classes, and I'll give them a final review once we get to the end, once we get to Chaos. Maybe someone's watching along that's like, hey, Blue, why didn't you do this? Or, did you know this? Or, yeah, actually, they suck. I don't know. We didn't bring the Bard. But I think the Beastmaster might be the worst one. You just... If the enemies you captured didn't run away, you know, you could probably make it work, but... As soon as you catch something good, it just leaves, so... And most things are useless, you know. You guys keep count at home. I'm gonna say we're around 15. Sandworms are pretty good for XP, technically, but... Rankylos, terrible. At least we get some jiving music in the background. Johnny C. Bad, not be good. Johnny B. Bad. Johnny C. Bad. I have to pay just enough attention so I don't accidentally reset the correct fight. So even the quest for the Beastmaster is lame. I'm sorry to the guy who programmed all this stuff. I'm sure you put a lot of work into it. And I mean, I think the game is fun. The Renaissance is good. I think there are aspects of certain classes that are worse than others. And I assume that we need this to make capturing viable. Like, we get to buy food. It does sound interesting. But, like, I think a lot of people would play this game many times and never see a T-Rex in their life. Or, by the time they see one, everyone's level 50, and then it just runs away. Because I used to do, as a kid, you know, when I didn't know better, I would use this area to grind, like, a solo black belt or something. Or a solo fighter. Or, even when I had a full group, I'd kill everyone except one. And then just grind my fighters here, basically. Because you can one-shot everything pretty easily in the desert. And it is, like, you know, you can save on the overworld. It's pretty close to Gaia for quick heals. It's not the worst place to grind, but nowadays I could do a lot better. But I remember using this desert fort because it's like one of the highest XP areas on the map, if you're not inside a dungeon or a trap tile. I think I probably would have done better just grinding inside Mirage Tower, to be honest, but whatever. I like being able to kill things in one hit, and a lot of encounters here are just one enemy. And then you find 4 red ankylos and you die anyway. But, I remember the first time I saw a T-Rex. I'm pretty sure my monk was, like, level 45 or higher. Getting close to level 50. I'm like, oh, wow. I've seen it in the bestiary in my official FF1 booklet. I knew they existed. And by the time I found one, I was, like, you know, huge level. And it just ran away instantly. So I didn't even get the satisfaction of killing the first one I found after... I mean, I'd already beaten the game multiple times at that point. Because I didn't know where they were. I remember, like, asking my dad, like, where are these things? And nobody knew. It was a mystery back in the day. I think you run into Warmech a little bit more often, oddly enough. It's rare, but not that rare. This one, yeah, might be the least encountered enemy of all NES. Well, Iron Golem might be worse. Iron Golem is pretty rare, and it's in an area where you can't really stick around. You know. But either Iron Golem or T-Rex probably the rarest encounter. Everyone talks about Warmech, but also most people have seen him. I mean, how many encounters have we done so far? You guys keeping count? I gave up. All this for a side quest. So, okay, we've had other Final Fantasies that had weird quests like this. I was thinking my Final Fantasy IV long ago at this point. I played the DS FF4 first on my channel long time ago. And it's a good game. Like, I highly recommend it, actually. Like, it's a different style of Final Fantasy IV than the Super Nintendo or the Pixel Remaster versions. Early 3D on the DS, you know, not everyone's favorite look, but the gameplay was actually quite difficult and had some cool new features and skills, and actually like replayability, where you kind of had this inheritance system where depending on the skills you equipped or didn't equip, when you went to New Game Plus, you could kind of upgrade them, and I can't remember how it works exactly, but there was some pretty cool stuff you could do anyway. The problem was that one had a side quest with Naming Way to do a bunch of just get me this, get me some fruit, get me some ice cream, whatever, you know, silly ones. And I was doing fine on it until I got to one where you need some sort of jelly, and you need to fight those oozes, the moose or the slimes, whatever they were called, in whichever color it was specifically. And they were a rare drop, which if you remember FF4, rare drops are stupid. If you ever tried to get the pink tail for the adamant armor. It's like that. And you basically can fight hundreds of the enemy. And we even had a pretty good area where we ran into the enemy pretty regularly. Like every 3 fights or so, you'd run into a pack of 4 of them, I think. But I grinded hundreds, and I don't think we ever got it. I had to give up, like, which is really dumb. I hate it on the Let's Play where I'm like, I would like to show everything off, but there's a quest that literally takes, like, dozens of hours to get lucky enough on a random drop or a random encounter. I really am not a big fan of that kind of mechanic. And here we are. It's one thing if the rare encounter exists. It's another thing if you need to do it for progression. And I am apparently increasing my odds by having the Beastmaster up front, which supposedly makes it more likely. It doesn't feel like it. This is also similar to Terraria, another game I Let's Played ages ago on the channel. Back when it was new. There wasn't that many mods for it. I like the original Terraria a lot more than what it's turned into now, actually, because I'm a bit of a completionist. You know, I like to get stuff, even if I don't use it all that often. And I don't really care about the best stuff, but I like to try things out. And over time, they kept adding rarer and rarer items that you had to beat bosses with like a 1% drop rate to get the item, to get all the stuff. And I was really unimpressed with that, like, design change. Although I guess a lot of people like it, but this guy better not run away, or I'm gonna be so mad. I don't know if there's anything we could do to help. Maybe I can slow him down a little bit. Don't want to confuse him. I don't think he'll run away. I should look at what Fairy does too. Let's just put some defense on people. We did not get the slow. Okay, we caught him first try. Nice. Whew. Okay, and we do get a level up out of it. Good. I'm glad we did that before any more time passed, because again, levels, he might have just bailed. If you're wondering, T-Rex, they do have morale stats. He's got a morale of, where does it say it? Somewhere in here? Didn't it? Am I blind? Oh, it's at the bottom, 150. It's not especially low, but, like, trolls are probably about to start running away at our level. He's only a little bit higher, you know. Peds tend to go some of the earlier ones. I consider them chickens at 111. They run away super easy at like level 15 or 16 or something. I don't know. I'm making the numbers up. You can look it up online if you want to know the exact level. But as your level gets higher, enemy morale starts breaking and they run. They shouldn't ever naturally run if they're at 255, but there's ways of lowering that. Anyway, point is, we're here. What? You actually did? He didn't think we'd catch a T-Rex? He gave us a quest that he figured we'd fail? Thanks, dude. So what do we get? We get pet food. Increases a captured monster's defense by 100% for 1 battle. I was kind of hoping it would stop them from running away. Maybe there's different pet food in different stores. Let's try a couple different item shops. Maybe there's other flavors. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, magic attack could be pretty good. So, okay, I'm glad I guessed that correctly. I did not look any of this up, of course. I'm trying to play a little bit blind, even if the comments are spoiling everything. Sure, I obviously I'm a little bit Let's Player blind every now and then, but sometimes I feel like usually I'm pretty good. Usually I notice stuff. Enmity? Blocks melee attacks at controlling character? Sure, make them a tank? Then they just die, and then you have to capture them again. I don't know if that's all that exciting. I'd kind of rather my pet doesn't die. Maybe you just buff their defense enough. Max 100 HP. I mean, sure. So do I just give a captured monster one of everything? And hope they don't run away? Unless there's a food that stops them from running away. That's what we need. Base hit count by 1? Not haste, but an enemy that hits really hard once, like a T-Rex, you'd be doubling it. Maybe you could cast haste on them, I'm not sure. No item shop here. Can we buy anything at the caravan? It doesn't look like it. Try not to make sure I don't miss it in the pile of garbage items. Okay, I don't see any pet food looking things here. So then the last shop should be in on-rack. I mean, I have a T-Rex. Maybe I should give him some food. Ambushes. Every time, ambushed. I think I caught all the... Actually, one thing I was going to do is, before we go into the Water Shrine, I was going to go get a couple weapons and armor out of Mirage. I was planning on doing this run kind of in order sequence, but... I am not having a great time. Sure, double attack power. Okay, that's a lot of interesting buffs. So, do we want to invest in a T-Rex? I'm sure there's better enemies out there, but the base T-Rex stats, I'll just... It's a pretty rare enemy, it's not bad. Its attack power is huge. It doesn't have any cool skills. Its absorb is terrible. Hit points is good. I mean, I guess we'll give it a shot. Heck, maybe if you give it food, it doesn't run away. I don't know. Oh, I guess, yeah, you can have lots of different monsters. Interesting. You can only use one. Okay. Not great. But okay. I was hoping you could give them all the buffs. I swear if it just runs away though, I'm gonna bench this Beastmaster so hard. Oh, I forgot I was gonna slow. You guys yell at me enough. It's okay. I understand. I can slow the speed down. Well, let's go pick up some free equipment. I'd like the Aegis shields. And, something. Probably the Sun Sword would be worth getting. It's not very far away. Did he run away? No, he's still there. Okay. What's with the singing? I literally have deleted so many vocal tracks. Okay. It's a minor gripe, but the OST for the FF6 Pixel Remaster has like 10 different languages of all the opera songs. So you end up with like there's like 4 or 5 different tracks that have vocals, and then there's 10 versions of every language possible for each of them. So if you're just listening casually, it's all you hear is opera singing basically, because that's all. There's not that many normal songs in the playlist. Minor gripe. All right, let's do some looting. Oh hey, I didn't see this guy. Awesome. Oh, so good. You frick this game, man. Hey guys, how you enjoying the Let's Play? Frick you, man. Our team sucks. Can't run away. Can't kill enemies in big groups. Can't kill bosses. You again. Your tenacity is almost as impressive as this weapon is pathetic. Take it. It is not worthy of being brandished by my hand. Where is my legendary weapon? We got a bolt sword. Cool. New sword for our Mystic Knight. 35-25. Previously, the best we had was around 32 damage. This is 35. Theoretically, 50% bonus. And it's the highest hit rate we can get. So, cool. It's also a... oops, wrong person. It's also a lightning weapon, which is at least a fair number of enemies are weak to, especially, like, you know, in the Water Shrine. So, hey, that's good. I'm glad we picked that up. I did capture some of these guys ahead of time just because I figured I might as well do some capturing off camera because it's a pain in my butt. And to be fair, if you are trying to capture cool enemies to use against bosses, you don't want to, like, override them with other stuff. So we have a couple other quests to do as well. Notably, we need... I should look at the fairy spell. Sorry, I keep forgetting. I got a lot of stuff to remember right now. We need all the bells for the Geomancer. We could probably get them all. There's only a couple left, I think. Well, 3 left, but they're all accessible, I think. Aegis Shield, Beast Sword, Wind Glove, not very good. Who's the oh, my, the Beastmaster can equip a Beast Sword. That makes some sense. It does more damage than the axes. But then you're losing your control. Huh. We can equip the Vorpal, but not very good for our team. Okay, and then armor. Can we equip the Aegis Shield? Yeah, now we're talking. Okay, we're definitely... Oh yeah, and definitely want the Dragon Armor. That's right. That was a lot of the reason I came here. Can we equip the Heal Hat? Yes. I mean, it's worse than the Opal Helmet. Nah. We're just gonna drop it. I'm not gonna be using 10 HP per turn healing. Or 10 to 20, doesn't matter. It's not enough. Can we give our... So it's... You have to give him a pet food before a battle, but even if you don't summon him, it gets consumed? Like, what? I keep forgetting how fairy works. Is it a... I think it's another charger. Yeah, still bad. So we got a dragon. I mean, not a dragon, a T-Rex. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, you get cool points for having a T-Rex on your team. I hit for a lot of damage. There, then the food wears off. Okay. I mean... Oh, that must have been... I thought it ran away, but it was just food. So the thing is, the food only seems to last 1 turn. Also, I don't know how the attacks work, because we did 3 attacks with the T-Rex. Not just the 1 that it has. And we should get 3 ourselves. 64 and higher means we should get 3 attacks. The T-Rex should get 1 attack. So how do we get 3 total? I don't know. Maybe we missed 1, I guess. Maybe the T-Rex gets more. Maybe they get averaged. I'm not convinced summoning the T-Rex is almost ever worth it, though. Or almost anything. I guess if you had, like we tried before, the Red Dragon, if something like that might work. Like, we're just killing stuff with regular attacks, right? At least the control ability is pretty decent. These guys, I believe, are technically considered humanoids. Nice to see Goblin Punch doing decent. They're also weak to lightning, so if Steiner hadn't been instantly stunned, you know, we could show off the Bolt Sword. It's funny, haha. We can't. They also have a lot of defense, so. Alright, 311 damage on Goblin. So much for base 40. I don't know how they calculate that one, but that was much, much more than expected. I got a Mage Staff on. The best sweepers we have, unfortunately, are still just Thor's Hammer, Mage Staff. So I was expecting that I was going to want to use the Sun Sword here, but maybe the Bolt Sword will be better. Interesting. So the Beastmaster could not equip Opal Armor, but they can equip Dragon. So that means defense-wise, you want to give it to the Beastmaster in this group. But protection-wise, I wanted it here. Because we're going to get... Eventually, we're going to get 3 ribbons. And I would rather match up the Dragon and Aegis together. Because that covers a lot of the elements. Interesting. Wind protection can... I think we'll hold on to the Scale Armor, because I might still need it later. Let's go for that quick. I do like the reverse sprites for that. It's pretty cool. Alright, Sun Sword, 3230. It does have more swings. It should generally be better than Ice Swords and stuff like that. But Lightning is probably a bit better on average. And I'm not sure, you know, I don't know how everything works. Light Axes. Just throw away. I will move. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna need that Wind Chime. Or Wind Bell, I guess. So that gives us a way to boost Wind Geomancy, which I assume in the Floating Fortress is easy. There's a water one. Actually, let me look at my chart. Because I would like to finish this quest too. The water one is in, you know, Sea Shrine easy enough. But there's a thunder one we could go pick up as well. That's the last one usually. I mean, we could go all the way to the Adamant. Maybe we do that. I feel like sequence breaking a little bit here. Well, it's barely a sequence break at this point, but our team is not performing to my standards, let's say. The good news is Steiner is starting to kill things pretty efficiently. We have adequate healing, I'll say, but generally below average sweeping ability, like AoEs, and I would say pretty terrible boss DPS as a rule. Like, we're pretty good against random encounters where we can, you know, control one of the enemies. That works pretty well. And, like, honestly, the Geomancy stuff isn't bad. I think in New Game Plus it would be almost worthless, though. Like, the amount of damage you can do with Geomancy is kind of on the low end of elemental spells. At least in my experience. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I see Steiner is basically dead again. I know. Yeah, healing options not great. Yeah, they're all strong. Sure. I guess Unicorn heals a bit. I don't know. Should use some potions. I was being lazy. Steiner really doesn't have enough hit points. Like, that's one of the problems with my Spellblade, Mystic Knight, Rune Knight, whatever it's called. It doesn't... It's not very survivable, right? Like, it's always been pretty low on hit points. Literally less than my Geomancer right now. And yeah, I can keep them healed. It would help. Some of the deaths have been my own fault. We'll get a bit of gear on the floating fortress here. I suppose we need to catch... If I catch it, I'm going to lose my T-Rex. Well, these guys are probably better anyway. Thunder's strong. Okay, we got a dragon. Hopefully he doesn't run away instantly. I mean, at least being able to summon him and do a thunder attack is very powerful. But compared to like a blue mage, this is so weak. Because you have to spend a turn to summon it. And because it can run away, like, I don't know if we can equip these. Oh yeah. Neat. So worm helmets, I thought were Dragoon only, but turns out they're not. Interesting. I guess if we had a ribbon, it's a little bit better than a pro ring. If you just care about absorb. Then we can go back to scale armor. I guess we could stay up here long enough to get a ribbon too. It's not very far away. I am a little bit low on spells. I should be a little bit careful here. Oh yeah, we're in the air, right? So new spells. We have Plasma, Lightning. We have Non-Elemental, Random Statuses, and Boost Magic. So we even equip the Air Bell. But the Air Bell only boosts Wind. There's no Wind. Like, what is the point? I know I've said this before, but like, there seems to be a lot of items in this game that, you know, they're copied from other Final Fantasies, which, you know, makes some sense. But like, are there any wind geomancy? And if so, where? Because what's the point of boosting wind if you can't get it? There must be one of them that does wind, right? I just thought up in the air would make sense. Pro ring, garbage. I mean, not really garbage, but we don't need it. We could also get a protect cloak or cape, whatever it's called. Pro cape. Might help the casters a little bit. I don't think I've caught a Gurnaga yet. So that's kind of undoing my collection a little bit. I think this might be the best axe, technically. That's pretty strong. Not quite enough for us to get 4 swings, but maybe we just try that for a bit. That is 32-35. That's technically better than the Sun Sword. Even more crit also. Just no extra effectiveness. It's higher base damage than the Defense Sword. So, like, that's gotta be okay. I don't think the Beastmaster has crazy good physical stats, so it's probably a 2% hit per level character with decent stats, but not crazy strength. Well, we'll try. Let's start with the ribbon so I don't get wiped. 130 damage. I think just going for a control would have been better. Although our control's a bit lower. Maybe it doesn't matter. Like, the whip gave us improved control chances, but maybe our level's high enough that it doesn't really make any difference. This is what we really want. For now, priority goes for the people in the back row, I guess. Because they don't get any armor that resists anything, so... They're going from basically 0 resistances to everything, rather than some resistances to more. A little bit of healing. Worthless. Worthless. Maybe we'll just do some random stuff. Do one more Kirin to try to heal a little bit here without heal potion spam. I mean, Meteor Shower, what? That was non-elemental AoE. 100 damage to everything is, like, on New Game Plus, absolutely trash. On our difficulty, it's still not much. Thought I meant to leave a healing staff down here. I guess there's only one. It's not big. I used to have the healing staff on Rydia, so I must have moved it. Sure, poison smoke. Why not? Let me... I still think the Geomancer has more, like, general purpose use to have... They just use their Geomancy. Having access to lightning is good, but I think the summoner needs it more. For something to do, basically. Okay, that was the ribbon. What else is up here? There's got to be that bell somewhere as well. Either in this floor or the next one. Oh, that was it. We have too much junk. We don't really need that staff, I guess. It's probably not as good as the mage staff. I don't know why I was holding on to it. So, I guess at the very least, we have plasma that does lightning. So in theory, we'll get some value there. Let's see, what else is in this floor? We can pick up the adamant. There's a reasonable chance that Steiner can use the Excalibur, right? He's not exactly a knight. But if you're playing Final Fantasy V, the Spellblade can use all the normal knight swords, I think. Pretty sure. White and black shirts, what do we think? One-shotting evil men. I still think that Beastmaster's not doing enough damage. Well, Ice 2 is probably better than Lightning 2. Invis 2 is something we have 0 access to right now. We can always buy another Protect Ring if we feel like it. We'll leave it like this for now. I keep not showing you Fairy, but yeah, it's high. It's same as all the others. 240 high power, single target rather than AoE, and then heals the party. But you know, Anti-Stone doesn't really matter. Enhance Arrow doesn't really matter. Takes 2 turns. The fight's over by then most of the time. What was I saying? So I was saying, like, some mechanics from other Final Fantasies that work just fine in theirs maybe don't translate very well to the NES FF1. Like the FF5 Spellblade was very good, but it had combos with other jobs because you could equip other abilities. And I feel like just the general balance of Final Fantasy V, like, you don't one-shot enemies very often. It's not super likely. The best spear probably there. So, but the meta, so to speak, for FF1 is it's usually not that hard to do enough raw damage to one-shot enemies. At least with the vanilla classes at regular levels. Like, if you're leveled up at all, I don't think that's unusual. So when you take mechanics where sure, you do a lot of damage, like with Shiva here, but everybody else is one-shotting. So, like, what is the point of this? Like, we got good turn order in the sense that we ambush them, I guess. But my summoner literally can't help, you know? Like, now is this just, like, first world problems? We're too strong, so what am I complaining about? Like, there's a bit of that, maybe. I mean, you can randomize an ability, and sometimes those are good, but... Meteor Shower from the Geomancy seems pretty weak. Again, I have to compare them to the vanilla classes. So, I don't think we take the Procate. Well, maybe we take it... We'll take it because they're rare. And even if I want the Pro Ring, I can sell this and buy it at the shop rather than having to redo the dungeon if I change my mind. They're not as good as a Pro Ring, except you could have them both if you don't want to have casting items. But honestly, the white shirt might be better in general. Oh, I should try the Thunderbolt on these guys. They do have a lot of physical defense. And seeing as we've got boosted lightning, this might be worth it. $400, you know, that was pretty good. Okay, well, keep that in mind. Boosted elemental stuff still seems decent if the enemies are weak to it. But then you just run into the usual trouble of, like, how do you guarantee that when you can only bring... You can only use the local spells, the local geomancy, or a limited number from a different dungeon. But that's just one elemental at a time, usually, that you can bring, right? Well, I guess grassland outside has fire and something. We don't need... I can't imagine anyone can equip a katana, but... Let's... give up on the lava axe. I've been surprised before by people equipping weird weapons. Okay, no katanas for us. Okay, that's all the loot. This is a very loot-dense dungeon. I think I picked everything up. But yeah, Lightning Bell using a single target geomancy that does a lot of lightning damage to somebody weak to lightning. That's probably about as good as we're going to get. But that is... Okay, that was pretty solid, right? Double XP just for fun. Okay, maybe we'll pick up our blue dragon again and we'll try to take him down to the wall. I mean, that's the thing too also. Like, when am I ever going to actually use these things? Even if they don't run away. And it seems like maybe as our level goes up, they run away less at least. So maybe there's like a... It's like Pokemon, you know? They don't listen to your commands because your level... You don't have enough badges. It's not really your level, but it's how many badges you have, right? Your Charizard's leveled up too much. Only the traded ones, really. But technically speaking, it's a mechanic. It's also just how the anime worked, right? So, like... Skills, Call Beast... Yeah, this is the problem, right? I have two classes that work the wrong way. The Summoner and the Beastmaster. Actually, the three, if you include the Mystic Knight. They all do cool stuff, but it takes too long. Like, by the time we can get to our Thunder, which is very strong... I mean, the fight's over. Again, just it's the same as using a summon, right? I really don't understand, like, again, I'm not trying to complain about the developer too much, but What? Is that how it's supposed to be? Are they just supposed to be kind of lame? I feel like you generally make, you make new jobs and abilities to make cool stuff. Generally, I feel like that's the idea, and it's usually true for most of the classes we play as, except these slow jobs that basically take 2 turns to do anything cool. I don't think it's good enough. And I mean, really, I would compare Beastmaster straight up to Blue Mage. Why wouldn't you just cast Thunder as a spell slot, right? Well, are we already 55 minutes? Man, I feel like I never get anything done with these episodes. This group is just really... I feel like the clearing speed is very slow. We don't get through dungeons very quickly compared to other groups. I don't feel like I'm stopping. It's just we don't kill very quickly. We'll go. I mean, we've done a fair bit of stuff. I guess we got a new summon. There must be. I got to keep that in mind too. Final summons. There's got to be one at the bottom of water. There's probably one somewhere in air. I wasn't looking actually. I forgot to put my summoner in the lead. My bad. And I mean, Bahamut is a 1, of course, right? We know that, but let's make sure the summoner's up front just so I don't miss it. Oh yeah, everyone's favorite. So I didn't do any. So okay, here you go. This would be a perfect time for the blue dragon, right? Or if I'd been smart to go recharge my... I could get something with lightning on the world map. Or, instead of any of that, you just use a Thor hammer, right? Or the black shirt would work just as well. Because yeah, this is nearly enough to sweep this group just fine. So I feel like the summoner is, or the Beastmaster is basically worse than a Thor's hammer. Because he did nothing, you know. But what if you're playing without a Thor's hammer? What if you decided casting items were illegal? Okay. If you handicap yourself, some of these other abilities might be a bit stronger. If that's what you want to do. At least there's only 2 ghosts here. And the Confused does work pretty well here. I was going to use the Volcano Geomancy there if we really needed it, but it seems like we're okay for now. Like, we're going to be able to beat the game. You know, when I'm saying this group is kind of weak, I mean, like, compared to other more successful groups that zoom through this place at breakneck speed. That should be the last of the bells. I'm actually going to equip fire, because if I fight a large pack of ghosts, that's all that really matters. Buffing the water in here isn't going to fix anything, because the enemies are still resistant. But if we find like a mega pack of ghosts, we can probably one-shot them with our volcano stuff. Yeah, here you go. I mean, this is still pretty good. I wish I'd remembered to reset it, but that's probably one of the downsides with Geomancer is it is more prep. They're not strong enough to justify the amount of preparation required. They're still probably my best class in this group. Yeah, this is basically a fire nuke at some point with all the boosts. Like, that's pretty strong. But you can only bring, well, whatever number of spell slots we're up to at this point. I actually think sometimes Black Shirt is better. I kind of go back and forth on whether Lightning 2 or Ice 2 is better. They are weak to Lightning 2, which is 50% more, but Ice 2 is just a higher base damage, so sometimes it just clears more reliably. I think Lightning 2 still has higher general kill rate, but they're kind of close enough that maybe it doesn't matter too much. So Power Glove might be mandatory for some bosses, because we're a little bit light on buffing. You know, I can try to bring a Geomancy that has attack up or something, but what do we drop? Well, I can buy the worm later if I really want it. We probably won't need to use the Power Glove for the Kraken fight, but the final dungeon, Topher, you know, we're gonna need some help. Oh, you know what? I forgot to. There's another thing I should have done. This party. I swear, it's something about this group just breaks my brain. I was gonna go turn in the adamant before we came here as well. Oh, this friggin' group. This is the problem. I keep getting these encounters that just slow me right down. I should probably put the Bane weapon on Rydia. I have not done a great job preparing. My bad. But I'm trying to find ways to use the jobs, not just default to, oh, casting items win the game, which seems to be pretty standard. Okay, so I was going to move the Bane Sword down here. That's fine. And I got too many things. Once we get out of here, we can turn our bells in. That will help. We do need the ribbon for sure. And we're going to go back, like I said, to Pro Ring Scale, Ribbon, Dragon Aegis Pro Ring. Okay, that should give us the most resistances. I think the most resistances is more important than... At this point, you can equip the Pro Ring and drop this for something else. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter right now, but... I could give them a castable item from a shirt or something, right? If I want. But I feel like they're supposed to be one of my melee fighters. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all the treasure looting. There's a spear on the bottom floor, but we don't need it. And there should be a summon? I feel like there should be a giant waterfish somewhere around here. As opposed to skyfish. There we go. Unrunnable. Weak to ice. We don't have... Oh, we got ice too. They hit pretty hard. But here I am. I'm just going back to my castable items again, right? Like I'm just using these. Oh, we can catch waters. I don't know if I've done that yet, actually. It's giving up some of my other animals, but my other monsters. I guess, like, I really should be trying out these boosted ones or something. I don't know. It's just so slow. You spend a turn to charge up. Like, I basically have to take the turn off to even see if Ice 2... Yeah. I don't think it's very good. I think it has to be able to do like twice as much damage or more if you have to give up a turn to use it. I don't care if it lasts the whole fight. Other than a few specific bosses, that's just a downgrade, really. Anyway, let's see what we get here. Lots of lobsters. You guys hungry? You cannot go through the doors. have no idea where I'm going. Damage. Fine, I'll use Shiva because this fight might take a little bit of time. I still think it's... There's a lot better you could do. Probably should have been using control anyway. Yeah, like by the time... This is like even the most ideal scenario. And there's like 3 nearly dead elementals left by the time we cast it, right? If we just done normal attacks... I feel like I keep saying the same thing, but like... I'm trying to think about it from different angles. There we go. This place was not meant for you. Turn back now. There's no turning back at this point. That's a lot of neg. I've never seen a group like that before. Is it actually unrunnable? That's going to be annoying. Alright. Just control 1, fight 1. Maybe go for some statuses. Maybe... These guys like to use magic, so you could go for silence or something, or maybe even just confuse would be good. Control might be the best thing we've got. The confuse spell, like, it's funny. I can see their full list. They don't really have anything super powerful. But yeah, we're probably better off just using our items again, really. 1 out of 3. And then someone with a big stick that just hits really hard is what you really want. 200 years ago, I sank this temple at the bottom of the sea to contain the Kraken. The Sky Warriors failed to stop the force of chaos, and so will you. At this point, honestly, I'm tempted to probably believe it. This group isn't that strong. I actually think we'll win, but I understand why the big fish thinks we're gonna fail. Let's just leave it at that. Is there any prep we could do? So if you happen to have already beat the game or being willing to cheat, you could just look up his stats ahead of time. Which are obviously Leviathan. He is weak to lightning. I mean, it's not a huge surprise, but it is true. I suppose there's Odin. We could probably find Odin. Where is Odin? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I am Leviathan, god of the sea. I have reclaimed this place from the hands of men, for men are weak. Did we fail to throw the ring into the Molten Doom or something? Sheesh. Summon animal. And... Well, ice will kill the waters, but lightning will kill Leviathan. So we'll go lightning. We already have lightning, technically. So it's pointless. We have a bolt sword equipped. Enchant magic does nothing. Well, that's not to say we couldn't use our limit. But then you'd want ice, because we could hit everything at once. Okay, maybe I see a way to get something. If we go Shiva, that gives us ice enchant. And then next turn, we should hit all with Steiner. It's still not great. We didn't... Oh. Well. Turns out one random status effect spell basically killed half of the waters. I don't understand what's going on. We need some healing. So that was just Astral Shift just randomly KOing things. I keep forgetting So by the time we swing, it was in a... I specifically tried to set it up so we could hit all the waters with Ice Enchanted Mystic Knight. Yeah, of course it didn't work. Let's try again. I don't know. There wasn't space, I guess. I don't understand these jobs. They seem garbage. It's just gonna make him worse. He's weak to lightning, so we use the Thor's hammer. It's so dumb. That's the best we've got. I mean, maybe I should be going Bolt 2. Maybe that really is... I do need the healing. Oh, you know what we could do is... Fenrir will give us some physical evade. Lets the regen last a little longer. Well, we win anyway, so... Well, I feel like... How can this be? Have I truly found the one who's worthy of my power? I don't know about that. Basically, I feel like the summon didn't work, the Mystic Knight rune stuff didn't work, and the summon didn't work. The only thing that really mattered was the fact that we could use a geomancy spell that killed all the waters. And everything else was pretty much worthless. And our Mystic Knight is really weak. Like, their absorb is crazy good. That's as high as a knight. But their HP is trash. So they just get touched and they die, you know. Which is probably what's going to happen when we fight the Kraken. I mean, should I try the lightning enchantment against the Kraken? Maybe I'll look at my enchants again before we fight. We are an hour and 12 minutes again. Dang it. Okay, so... Things that would help against the Kraken. Crit chance? Sure, but not fire. Dang it. I have tried. Stop it. No, we don't want that. Still the friggin' opera. Okay, sure. Floating continent, that'll do. Okay, so crit chance, but fire is bad. Poison, probably not helpful. Slow would be decent. Stun would be great. Stone would insta-kill if it works. Silence doesn't really matter. Confusion would be pretty good. So, maybe we just go with Bolt because it's... Maybe I cast Bolt on, like, Ash. Give him stun chance and more damage. He doesn't have any. And as far as I can tell, his animal companions are basically worthless. We will still summon it. But... Meanwhile, honestly, pressure's probably all we need. You reduce the physical power of the enemy, of the boss, and we're good. In terms of... Yeah, Fenrir also pretty good against Kraken. Attack down. Ink doesn't really matter. Fenrir's pretty good. Okay, Enchanted Bolt plus Water, go. And I will try to slow him with Ice. Was giving me slow. Because if you slow the Kraken, he can't do anything. Meanwhile, we should just do a Geostorm. That's always good damage. And we do have Leviathan now. Hooray. Absolutely useless here. Also, there's a bit of anti-synergy here. If I use these summons, they do mess up my other... I think you can only have one enchantment at a time, so I got Enchant Lightning. But if I use something else, it'll override it, I think? We can get rid of Blind, I guess. Geostorm, 350, decent. 240, no stun. The Water Elemental took a hit. That's fine. I mean, realistically, we would just keep dropping his attack for a couple turns, and then he can't hurt us anyway. So the Geomancy happens to work out pretty well here. He also, like, absorb some hits. We have the defense, like, Fenrir, Golem, regeneration, pressure. This is... Our damage was bad, but luckily Kraken didn't do anything, so... Alright. Well, I want to, at the very least, turn in the Excalibur and the bells, because... I want to be ready to go for the next dungeon next episode. Or at least the beginning of the conclusion. Because we need, we got to do Tiamat, and we got to finish any side quests, including all the summons, which I feel like I've missed one somewhere. There should be one at the top of Sky and Bahamut. Well, I mean, we can see the ones I've missed. Well, missed, but the ones I need to find. Odin is the same tier as Leviathan. Then there's Phoenix and Bahamut. Bahamut is, like, last. I think Phoenix is at the top of Sky. Kind of makes sense. But where is Odin, then? In FF4, he's, like, buried under this first castle. Somehow I doubt it. Let's, okay. Turn in all the bells. Make some inventory space. They're taking up... Thanks. They're taking up too much space. Here. Take my flame bell. Also take my ice bell. Also take my water bell. Also take my wind bell. Finally, take my thunder bell. The last bell. Very well. A promise is a promise. One bell to rule them all. So according to my research, this is just buffs all geomancy. So there was an item in FF5 like the Magus Rod or something that's kind of like that. Although this, I think that one oddly skipped water for some reason. But this one works on all of your geomancy. So in theory, no matter what we do, it's going to be boosted. By how much? It's still a mystery. But it's boosted. So that's the ultimate geomancy item, and you can't really get it until you do all the dungeons, because you need one from each. So it's pretty hard to get that early without just dipping and running. Excal, you only have to dip into the sky, but that means you need slab, translate, all the way up to sky. So it's kind of the same tier as Excal, I guess. And Excal, look, we can equip it. So that completely replaces any sword. Anything that Steiner would have equipped has been replaced by the Excalibur, so we can get rid of them all now. I guess it's very similar to the bells. You just get rid of all your old ones, basically. So that's good. I mean, you know, hooray. I do think Excalibur, as always, with the patch, will be just fine for DPS. It pretty much always is. So, although we're not getting fighter number of swings, one more level will get us 4. Our damage is already pretty good. Plus, if anything, the Rune Knight might shine a bit here, because it's effective against everything, which means we should be getting double Bladecraft on almost everything. Because pretty much every monster has a family, except Chaos. I think Excalibur literally does extra effectiveness on every enemy besides Chaos. So we're potentially at, well, plus 45 damage against everything. And that would theoretically put us over 100, which should be very impressive. Only thing we're missing is, like, haste or something else that'd be useful. But anyway, that's that. Other quests, that's done. We do need King of Dragons eventually. And we've done the Beastmaster one. So yeah, all that's left is the summons, I guess. And then Odin. Yeah, where is Odin? You're not, like, hiding out with the king here or something, are you? Could be... I feel like I must have missed it somewhere. It's got to be approximately... I mean, it could be in the waterfall. You know, it's probably in the waterfall and I just missed it. Sure, super long episode. No. We'll break it here. Next episode, I'll check the waterfall, and then we'll do Sky. Because I feel like We did not get a summon in the waterfall, and I didn't check every corner. Not that these are going to be very useful. The damage is getting very powerful. You know, 280 base is huge, but same problem as I've said probably 100 times. They kind of suck. Fenrir, good. Carbuncle, situationally good. Unicorn, decent. Kate Sith, really good. Kieran, decent. Golem, decent. Goblin, actually hits pretty hard. Let's just do one random encounter just to show Excal. How much damage can we do with Excalibur these days? 412 for 3 hits? Not bad. One level up will get 4 hits. The other thing is, theoretically, wherever we are, whatever element we're doing should be boosted. So, Ankylos aren't weak to fire, but we should do decent damage here. Yeah, 500 is pretty solid. So, boosted by the bell, that becomes pretty strong. So, Geomancer late game, decent. And I think they've been okay all along. I should pick them up a better secondary at this point. But, yeah, I'll figure that out next time. Let's call that an episode here. Not the worst. Just still struggling a bit. But the fact that we've got an Excalibur knight, it's like a baby knight. Should work out well enough for us. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for sticking with it. There's still a couple dungeons left. Chance to, salvage this party. We're not done yet. So I'll see you next time. I hope you've enjoyed, and have a great day.